Hi everyone, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Thanks for being here. First of all, a great big shout out to my patrons on Patreon, and those of you who are doing one-time donations. It's paying off. I recently purchased a small mini split HVAC unit, which I'm in the process of installing into my school. It will heat and cool the apartment where I will be moving into. And I'm excited because it's the first step in climate controlling that building. The next step being a larger unit with two stations to cool the large school space. And then when that's in, I'll be able to really invite people to come here and experience that wonderful, beautiful Butsudan and altar in the school, and then chant the Daimoku together, Itai Doshin. I'm really looking forward to that. I can't really do much promoting or inviting in the region, in the area, although it's a wonderful building. The summers here in Mississippi are, it's hard enough to focus when you're chanting Daimoku to Gohanzon. If you've got sweat dripping down the back of your spine, and or in the winter, if you're chattering teeth get in the way of your daimoku. So not that I want it to be that luxurious, but certainly to make practice more enjoyable, easier to focus the mind on what's important, rather than these other things, right? So anyway, thank you so much. Your support allows, permits, enables these things to happen, and I'm very excited about it, so thank you. All right, now back to business. Reply to the wife of Matsuno. Not a lot is known about her, where she's from, or her parents, or anything. We just know that Matsuno was a lay monk, a Nyudo in Japanese terms. He was obviously a strong student of Nichiren's. And where was this, in Suruga, or Matsuno Rokuro Saimon, the province, district of Suruga province, Ihara district. Okay, so she had taken up Nichiren's doctrine of the Lotus Sutra along with Matsuno's father. So her father-in-law was practicing, she started practicing, and then Matsuno himself started to practice. So it's a long, or that's not uncommon. Women sometimes will have more of a curiosity and a seeking mind to look, to incorporate more in their Buddhist practice during the day, being as they are more likely homemakers and raising children and preparing things to support the husband having to deal with more politics, and at that time samurai government and plotting and planning and so forth. So men sometimes in different periods have a more difficult time sticking with their practice. That's just the way samsara is, right? So she would send offerings to Nichiren that were critical for Nichiren's survival. And of course, because Nichiren is the votary of the Lotus Sutra, all those offerings are seen as offerings to Myoho Renge Kyo, the Lotus Sutra. So let's just get into it. I am deeply ashamed at having failed until now to respond to your gift of one chest of wheat, one basket of taros, which is dried seaweed, one basket of melons, and various other items, which I received on the third day of the 6th month. So evidently a lot was preoccupying Nichiren at the time, and he's apologizing for this late response. This place, the Valley of Minobu, is located in the area of the 3 villages of Lino, Mimaki, that might be Iino. Yeah, I'll bet it is. Excuse me. Iino, Mimaki, and Hakiri of Kai Province in the northwestern corner of the district of Hakiri. To the north, the peak of Mount Minobu pierces the heavens. To the south, Mount Takatori's crest merges with the clouds. To the east, Mount Tenshi rises as high as the sun. And to the west, great sheer mountains span across to the summit of Mount Shirane. So he's quite surrounded in this valley. The air above resounds with the screeching of monkeys, while the earth is filled with the cheering of cicadas, something we're very familiar with here in Mississippi. If I feel as if Eagle Peak in India had made its way here, or as if I were seeing Mount Tendai in China right before my eyes, although I am neither Shakyamuni Buddha nor the great teacher Tendai, because each day I read the Lotus Sutra day and night and discuss great concentration and insight morning and evening, this place is like the pure land of Eagle Peak and in no way different from Mount Tendai. So, for inspiration and for historical context, he basically is describing the practice we all aspire to, right, as Bodhisattvas, to live in Myoho Renge Kyo. Certainly, our samsaric lives in this modern day is rife with distractions, as I've often said, not least of which are our occupations to try to have enough financial solidity to be able to live our lives with some degree of comfort or liberation. Free time is a novel concept these days. So any time we can dedicate to our practice is very precious. And this is basically what Nichiren is saying, is that he can afford to have a great deal of time to focus on the study and the practice of Myoho Renge Kyo because of the wonderful offerings of his students and people like this woman. Nevertheless, I am an ordinary person dependent on other things for my existence. If I were without clothes, the wind would penetrate my body, and if I did not eat, my life could not be sustained. It would be like failing to replenish a lamp with oil or failing to add wood to a fire. How could I continue to live? If my life should become difficult to maintain, if the provisions needed to sustain it were to be exhausted, in 1 to 5 days the voice that now reads and recites the Lotus Sutra would also be silenced. And weeds would grow up thick before the window from which discourses on great concentration and insight are heard. Such are the conditions under which I live, but I wonder how you were able to perceive this. Because a hare made offerings to a person walking about in exercise after meditation, the Heavenly Lord Chakra took pity on it and placed it in the moon. Now when we gaze up at the heavens and the moon, we see a hare. In your position as a woman, you have made offerings to the Lotus Sutra in this defiled latter age. Therefore the Heavenly King Brahma will look after you with his divine eye. Chakra will press his palms together and pay obeisance to you. The earthly deities will delight in reverently holding up your feet, and Shakyamuni Buddha will extend his hand from Eagle Peak to pat your head. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. With my deep respect, Nichiren. Whew! Well, I guess it was no accident that I started out this video thanking you guys so much for your offerings that helped to bolster my life and my desire to teach, to share. It's sometimes blows my mind how this sort of a synchronicity occurs. I feel like I need to once again deeply appreciate your participation and certainly your donations in every form, not least of which your time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Keep your practice strong. Do everything you can to stay healthy. Practice, deepen your conviction. And I will see you in the next one. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo.